Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was fighting with the Lord this week. I did not want to preach this message. And, there's no other explanation. I thought I could come up with a clever one to make myself look good and be like, I wanted to do this because of this. But the only reason why I didn't want to preach this message is because I am prideful. I'll just say that. I knew, this is just me being vulnerable and completely honest. I knew Bella's family was coming this morning, and I was like, man, I got to make this good. I got to show them. This is right. I got to make this the best message ever. And I'm not saying this won't be the best message ever, but there were so many different ideas of what I could do. I wanted to make it different. I wanted to make it special, a message no one's ever heard about. And the only thing that the Lord kept leading me to talk about was love. And I was like, God, that's too easy. We're literally having a feast about love after this. God, it can't be that easy. Come on, something else. Please give me something else. It's got to be awesome. But no, the Lord kept leading me to talk about love. And finally I gave in. And the reason why I say this to tell you guys, because it's funny to laugh at me, I guess. But also, I don't say this to say, look at me, I'm being obedient. But I say this to say, God is trying to do something with this. Because trust me, I tried to go a different path. I really, really tried. But God kept bringing me back to talk about love for a reason. And I don't think it's because we're having a feast. I think it's because God is trying to say something about it. And so I want to talk about love. And recently, me and Bella have been watching a lot of TV. And we've been watching this one show on Netflix. I like the show. And Bella started watching it with me halfway through, and then she was super addicted to it. But it's called Building the Band. And it's this reality show, and it's basically the idea of the show is you have 50-ish talented singers. And they're all placed in this cube thing, and they can't see anybody. They don't see anybody. And then one by one, they all audition. So they all go to this place, and they sing a song and for the other people in the cube. And if they like it, they'll click this button, and then they'll connect with each other. And so say I'm singing my song, and then Bella clicks her button for me, and then when Bella sings her song, I click her button for her, then we would connect and we would talk. And the whole goal is to build a band. Makes sense, right? And it's reality TV, so it was a lot of drama. It was honestly really good because I like music and I like hearing different voices. But there were some points that was really, really cringy to watch. And one of them was as soon as they build their band, they do a performance together. And the very first performance they do together, they don't see each other. So they practice their lines and of the song, and then they come out one by one as they're singing their song, right? And as they come out and they're performing this, that's the first time they see each other. And you know what was so cringy about that? This is the first time they're meeting. This is the first time they're seeing each other. This is the first time reality is starting to hit. And it was this, mostly the girls, I'm not going to lie. But they would all start screaming, like, oh my gosh. And the first words that would come out of their mouths were, I love you. And that was crazy. And to be honest, I didn't really think about it much until Bella said, what are these girls doing? Why are they saying, I love you? Those words should mean so much more. I mean, it's not, they're just meeting each other. They're just seeing each other for the very first time. And they're saying, I love you. That word has to mean more. So this morning, I want to talk more about what love is. But I want to not just talk about love at a worldly point of view. I want to talk about holy love. And, when I was coming up with the title, I was like, man, that's good, because that sounds really religious. That sounds really like man, that's what a good Christian would say, is holy love, right? But we need to understand what this actually means, because it sounds very religious, and it seems like, man, people who walk in holy love, they're special. But we need to break that down and understand what it means. So first, what does holy love look like? Well, holy love simply is just the idea of love that looks different than the rest of the world. The word holy just means to be set apart. So when we're talking about this idea of holy love, it's just love that is set apart from everything else. So it's not this extravagant religious term where we have to try super hard to reach or whatever this thing, or it's like the holy of all holy. Like that word can get so, we can miss what truly is trying to happen because of that word holy, because it seems so perfect or whatever. But simply, to put it in simpler terms, it just means set apart. So this morning, what we're talking about is love that is set apart from normal love, I guess. From the love that what the world would call love. We're talking about what Jesus would call love. And then when I was preparing, there was 3 different movements, I guess, of holy love. Of love done right, of love that looks different. And these are the 3 movements I want to talk about. But the first thing I want to say is, what is love from the world? Well, when I think about love in a worldly aspect, I think of a good feeling, right? A good emotion. It's an emotion. It's a feeling you get when you're with someone that makes you happy. It's a feeling you get when you're with someone that makes you comfortable. It's an emotion that it's more extreme than happy, so you would call it love. That's what I would describe the world's definition of love. And so we're going to look at what Jesus describes love, or the movements of love when we're talking about holy love. And the first movement I want to talk about is love is not just an emotion or a feeling, but it is a choice. Love is a choice. Look at what John 13:34 says. A new command I give you. Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. So Jesus is giving us a new commandment. And that new commandment is love one another. If love is simply just an emotion or a feeling, how are we supposed to do that? Because we can all say our emotions are very inconsistent, right? Our emotions are usually based on our circumstances. If I'm having a good day, well, most of the times my emotions are going to reflect that day I'm having. If I'm having a bad day, well, most of the time my emotions are going to reflect the day I'm having. If I'm going through a trial, you're probably going to see me not as happy. But so how can we live this commandment out if it's just an emotion? How can we love one another? How are we supposed to love like Jesus loved? And the only explanation, or the only way we can do this, if we realize that love is a choice. It is a decision that you have to make. Or I wouldn't even say that. It's a decision that you get to make. Even when you're having a bad day, you can still choose to love. Even when it seems like everything around you is falling down, you're in the trenches. You can still choose to love. Love is not just a happy, gooey feeling that we have to wait until we're feeling it to love one another. But it is a choice. It is a choice that you have to make. Another reason why we see that it's a choice in the Bible is what Jesus says in the book of Matthew. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you. Jesus takes this command to the whole another level. Jesus says, you know, you have heard it before. Love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies. How in the world are we supposed to do that if love is just an emotion? Love the people that you do not like. Love the person that knows exactly how to press your buttons. Love the person that knows exactly how to get under your skin. Love the person who, no matter how hard you try, always seems to ignore you, seems to be mad at you, seems to be mean to you. It doesn't matter how nice or how kind you are. They always choose to just destroy you. Love the person where it always seems like you're their punching bag. I know in those moments you're not feeling very lovey. You're not having that warm feeling you have when you're with your family or your significant other. That feeling isn't there. If it is, then that's weird, right? So how are we supposed to love our enemies? It's by choosing to love. It's by, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it doesn't comprehend to our brains, we still choose to love. You know how many stories I've heard, and I don't know if they're real or they're fake, but I would love to believe they're real. But how many stories I've heard of other people saying, I came to Jesus because someone loved me even when it didn't make sense why. Someone showed me love even though it didn't make sense why. Because that person chose love. Even though that person was mean to the one showing love, even though they hated the one showing love, that person still chose to show love, and they met Jesus through it. It is our job to choose love. I mean, Jesus chooses love for us, even when we don't deserve it. I mean, every single day, time and time again, on purpose or not on purpose, I completely ignore God. I completely break the heart of God. I completely ignore God. Like I was saying earlier, I am prideful sometimes, or a lot of times maybe. And that breaks the heart of God. But you know what God does? He still chooses love. Even in his broken heart, even when his heart is completely shredded, he still chooses love. And so God is calling us to do the same. Love is not just an emotion or a feeling, but it is a choice. The next movement I believe God was telling me about is love isn't just a feeling or emotion, but it's a choice that leads to an action. Love is an action. I mean, I'm not very good at English class, or English in general. I mean, that was my worst class in school. My spelling is terrible. My handwriting is terrible. Like, I have a problem reading my own handwriting. It's so bad. I'm not very good speaker. Like, I just don't talk very good. I'm very bad with words. You've all seen my reading issues. Like, I don't read very well. But this I do know. A verb is an action. And love is a verb, right? I love you. Very simple sentence, but I is the subject, love is the verb, and you is the object. So love is a verb, and verb are action words. So that tells me love is an action. Just grammar. A little grammar lesson for you guys. Thank you, Miss Bev. Thank you. But we can also see in the Bible how love is an action. Let's look at 1 John, the book of 1 John. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. Love is an action. So going back to this TV show that me and Bella were watching, Building the Band, it was very, like I said, it was good to hear the different voices and to see how the bands just were created, but there were also a lot of drama. And there was this one specific band that I just could not stand. It was a group of 3 girls, and they were like the girls I was talking about in the beginning. They were like, "Oh, yay! I love you, I love you," and they would tell it to each other too. So like as they go on, they spend time after time, days and days preparing for their next performance, right? And you would see when they were all on camera, they would tell each other, "Oh man, I love you, this is going great, like we're clicking just fine." And then they had this one girl who was just so negative, so beating them down. She was like the boss, and if anything went wrong, like she was going to let you know. Very blunt, very direct, but in a very mean way, right? But it was so weird, but she would tell the people, the women or the other girls she was with when she was on camera together that she loved them. But then when it was like solo interview time, she would talk about how bad they're doing, how they mess up here, how they would do this wrong, how she just wished they would be better at this, how their style is bad, how the things were bad. And it was so clear that her actions didn't show that she loved them. By the way you could see them perform together, by the way, her leadership in the band was bad, her actions did not match her speech. She would tell them that she loved them, but her actions did not match it. And I think we fall into that category a lot too. Whether it's with people or it's with Jesus. We tell people we love them, or we tell Jesus we love them, but our actions do not match it. And so when we look at love being an action, what does that mean? What does the action of love look like? What does it look like to actively choose love and to walk it out, and to walk out the action? I think 1 Corinthians 13 does a beautiful job at explaining what love is. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Let's go back to verse 4. 4. Yep, perfect. Love is patient. Love is kind. So I want us to see how these two movements go together. Number one, we have to choose love, and by choosing love, we have to choose to act out what love is. Here's a perfect example. So before, so me and Bella have been married for like 4 or 5 months now, and in the first couple months, first marriage, I learned a lot about marriage, and what I learned was the little things actually do matter, right? So, like, what I'm meaning by that is closing the cabinets are a really big deal. Like, I didn't know that before. Like, at my house before, I never closed the cabinets, and my mom would say, close the cabinets. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I would just never do it. But now it's a big deal, right? Or even just putting the toilet seat down, that's a big deal. And I say that because I am going to be honest, I mess up a lot. I still do a very bad job at closing the cabinets. I still do a very bad job at putting the toilet seat down. And I know it's important, and that's where I get upset at myself, because I know it's important to Bella, so I really work hard, but I still mess up. But you know what? Bella chooses to be patient. Bella chooses to be kind. I do not deserve her patience or kindness. It's been 5 months and I'm still doing these things. But yet she still chooses to walk out in patience. She still chooses to walk out in kindness. She has every right, she has every opportunity to do the opposite. But she chooses because of her love for me. She chooses to act out that love by being patient, by being kind. And so that's where we can see love is an action. If Bella would tell me all the time that she loved me, but she was never patient, and she was never kind, it would be hard for me to believe the words that she is saying, because the actions never match the words. And we have to put that in perspective when we're talking about Jesus too. We say we love Jesus, but our actions don't reflect it. We say we love Jesus, but then we're only doing what we want. We say we love Jesus, but we're more focused on our selfish desires. We say we love Jesus, but I got pride in my life and I'm okay with it. Our actions have to match our words. And when we're saying we love, our actions have to match that. And it's the same with Jesus, same with people. How are we going to love our enemies? By being patient, by being kind, by not envying them. They get the promotion over you, that's okay. God has something else for you. I'm still going to show them love. By not being proud. Verse 5. Even though we might not like the person, we're not going to dishonor them. We're going to do our best to even do the opposite by blessing. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil. Even though they got that promotion, I'm not going to scheme, I'm not going to do my best to tear them down. But I'm going to rejoice because they got it. Verse 7. It always protects, always trusts, always hope, always perseveres. I think in this verse we can see, once again, it's a choice. Why? Because it always, 4 times, always. Love is a choice, and love produces fruit. It's an action. And the third movement, and probably the hardest, is love is a sacrifice. Love is not about you. There are so many relationships I've seen. There are so many relationships I've seen ended because one person or the other was unsatisfied in the relationship. And the reason why they were unsatisfied was because the person wasn't giving them what they thought they needed or deserved or wanted. So then the relationship just ended. And, okay, that makes kind of sense, right? But I don't agree with that. Because love is not about you. Love is, like it said, it's not self-serving, but it's humble love. It's about sacrifice. I love Bella so much. So I'm going to do everything I can to help her, to serve her, to benefit her. And Bella loves me. So she's going to do whatever she can to help me, to serve me, to benefit me. If it ever becomes in our marriage or in our relationship where it's, well, I love Bella because she does this, this, and this, and I just get to experience her love and just let her give me everything I need, then that's wrong. Because love is about sacrifice. Look what Ephesians 5, verses 1 through 2 say. Follow God's example. Therefore, as dearly loved children, and walk in the way of love, just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. What does it say? Be an example. Be an ambassador. And walk in the way of love. And how do we walk in the way of love? How do we walk in the way of love? Just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. We love in the same way Christ did. By not putting our needs before others, but by choosing sacrifice. Look what John verse 13 says. Or verse 13, but chapter 15. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. I'm not telling you guys that you have to die for someone to show your love. But I am telling you, you have to die to yourself to show your love. You have to put your self-desires, your pride, your whatever, and you have to die to that and put them before yourself. You have to put their needs before yours, their wants before yours, their desires before yours. When we look at our faith in this idea that love is sacrifice, I think the biggest example is God's plan. I think we are so eager, and I'm speaking because this is so me, like I'm so guilty of this, but I work and I work and I work to come up with a plan and try to figure out what am I supposed to do. And I put my own desires, and I put my own wants, and I put my own ideas and my own plans before God's. Showing, number one, that I don't trust God. I trust myself. But in that, and really what I'm doing, is I'm not really allowing myself to fully love God. Well, how? Because I'm missing out what God is trying to do. I'm missing out the blessings. This job that I have right now was not in my plan. I can tell you that. Preaching on us every Sunday morning was not in my plans. I didn't really have a plan, but I could tell you it wasn't this. But because I have this job, I am so blessed by God. And not because I have a good church that I get to be a part of, but just because, okay, I'm gonna be honest again with you guys. I don't know why I'm choosing to be so vulnerable, but I don't really like it. But this week has not been an easy week for me, like mentally. I've been struggling with the idea that who am I right now? Like just to be honest with you guys, I have no experience. I have no credentials. I am just a random dude from Cicero, Illinois. Like my only degree is I graduated high school. That was it. And I've been struggling with this idea of what gives me the right to stand up here and talk? The world would say, you don't. But I'm blessed every Sunday because I am used by God. And I'm not saying, once again, I don't want this to sound prideful. I'm not saying that so you guys can look at me. But I'm saying that so you guys can have confidence that God is moving. Because like I said earlier, I suck at English. Like I'm so bad at it. And I'm not saying that to be funny, it's true. But yet I'm still able to come up here every Sunday and give a message. And that's simply because of God. And without saying yes to his plan, I would have missed that blessing. And so I got a little off track there, but we need to know that love is not about us. It's not about what I can gain. It's not about what this person can do for me. But it's about what can I do for them. I mean, when we're talking about loving your enemies, they're probably going to do nothing for you. Let's be honest. Maybe in the future. But right now, the people that don't like you, they're probably not going to do anything for you. Like, why would they? But we're still called to love them. We're still called to be kind, to be patient, to sacrifice our needs for them, to serve them in every way we can. You know why? Because Jesus did that for us. Look what Romans chapter 5, verse 8 says. This is one of my favorite verses. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Man. While I was still an enemy of God, he still put my needs before his. While I was an enemy of God, while I was still a sinner, and I'm still a sinner, while I was choosing every day to run away from God, get away from God as far as I possibly can, he chose sacrifice. He chose love. Love is a sacrifice. It's putting their needs before yours, just like Jesus did. Just like Jesus did. And so when we go out and we are walking our normal life, I want us to do what Ephesians 5 tells us. It tells us to walk in love. And I don't mean walk in a way where you're searching for a good feeling. Walk in a way where you're living life just looking for that next good emotion, that next feeling of love. But I'm talking about choosing love every day. Even when you don't feel like it. Choosing love every day. Choosing the actions and the fruit of love. And let your life produce those fruits. Being kind, being patient, not easily angered. And also choosing to surrender your needs. Saying, I'm going to choose to love you. And by doing that, I'm going to do my very best to serve, to bless, to honor. Put your needs above mine. Let the word love actually mean something. When it comes out of your mouth, let it mean something. I love you, and this is why. I love you, Jesus, and this is why. I'm going to choose to love every day, and this is why. Let it mean something. Let it have a why. Let's be people that walk in holy love. Choosing to love. Choosing to act. And choosing to sacrifice. Just like Jesus did. Let's pray. Jesus, we say this with reality, God. We love you. God, and we don't just say that because it sounds good. We don't just say that because love is such a good feeling and good emotion. But God, we love you because of who you are. God, we decided, or God, help us decide to choose love every day. God, love is a decision that we make. So God, help us to choose it. God, help us to see the benefits of love too. God, I mean, if it's a choice we have to make make sure we're making it with the right heart, God. So I pray that we see why choosing love is good. And God, I pray that you would help us see the fruits of when we choose love. God, when we choose love, the fruits are going to come. Like being kind, like being patient, like what 1 Corinthians 13 talks about. God, I pray that you would help us to see those fruits. God, we chose love, and then this guy, man, he just kept bothering me. But yet I still chose to be patient. How was that even possible? Because I chose to love like you did, Jesus. And God, help us to sacrifice. Help us to surrender. Help us to choose every single day to die to ourselves and put others before us. Help us to die to ourselves and put you before us. Jesus, you are our Lord. You are our Savior, not me. You. God, so help us to walk that out. Walk that out in love. God, help us to walk out in holy love. Love that looks different than anything else. When people see the way we're loving, they're confused because it looks different. God, when people see the way that we're choosing to love, they start asking questions. God, I pray that each and every one of us would get asked, why are you loving me like this? Why are you being so kind? Why are you being so nice? God, and I pray that each and every one of us would delight in that question and say, well, guess what? It's not because of me, but it's because of the glory of God. God, help us. Help us to walk in love, your love, every single day. Point people to you because of your love. We love you, God, so much. In your name I pray. Amen. So we're going to continue worshiping God. But now we're going to worship Him in remembering what He has done. Like we talked about, we were still sinners. We were enemies of God. We were, I don't know, I can't say, but probably I would have been in the crowd chanting to crucify Him. But yet He still died for you and me. He still died for you and me. So we're going to remember that sacrifice, and we're going to remember that love by partaking in communion. So I invite all of you to do that with us. And we're going to have two servers come up, and the way we do it is we start the line here, and it kind of just tunnels like this. So where they're going to play music, and I just invite all of you to partake in the remembering of the sacrifice and the love of our Lord Jesus Christ.